Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? How are you? Welcome back to another week of On the Town with Tanya. And as you know, I'm your host. Thank you so much for watching with us. Tonight's guest is a resident of District 3 New Rochelle, going on 5 decades out now already. He's been a community activist. He advocates for a lot of people and considers himself someone who he described himself as boots on the ground when it comes to dealing with issues that affect the residents of District 3. He has been appointed and served numerous municipal committees. Among them, he's been the president of Lincoln Attendance Zone, the PTSA, member of the City of New Rochelle African American Advisory Board, past member of Downtown Revitalization Initiative Committee, and past member of the City of New Rochelle Police Review Committee. Please welcome Kwamain Dixon. Hello, how are you?
Hello, how you doing? Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for showing up for us. We appreciate you. It's I know you're busy, as they say, because if you're running for any kind of office, that means that requires a lot of work, a lot of running around. I
Yes.
appreciate you. So tell us what you're running for and why you chose to run.
I'm running for city council, District 3, in the city that I currently live in, which is New Rochelle, New York.
Mhm.
Um, as you said in the intro, I've been a boots on the ground advocate for over 10 years within the community. The officials that do get elected to office, 9 times out of 10, engages with me for my thoughts, opinions, solutions to different situations and problems within the community. So
Mhm.
I figured to myself, why not take it a step further from being boots on the ground to being boots in office? So
Right.
that's one of the reasons why I decided to run. Some of the activism that I have done in the neighborhood,
Mhm.
what we had a redevelopment of where I used to live, which was Hartley houses. It was 5 buildings, 6 stories. They
Mhm.
came, knocked all the buildings down, and made townhome style houses.
Mhm.
But they managed to leave one of the 6 story buildings up for over 3 years, abandoned, falling apart.
Mhm.
Just a basic um, stain on the community. Now we got our kids breaking in, trying to go in the building and play. So one of the things I did, I galvanized the community. We went to City Hall. City Hall put pressure on the developers. And long story short, we got the building taken down and a brand new playground built in the heart of that residential community, which is low income housing, now affordable housing. So these are some of the things that I've done with my advocacy.
Well, I also see you also did you volunteered to distribute food and groceries to families in need during the pandemic. That's amazing.
Yes, yes. Well, during the height of the COVID pandemic, I worked closely in partnership with West Cop,
Mhm.
Alex Alejandro. Basically, they were securing food deliveries from Freedom Westchester. Uh, I forgot the name of the dairy company, but they sent a 18-wheeler down filled with milk and things of that nature. The National Guard was involved, so myself, along with other community members, we was getting the names and addresses of those that was in need, and we was either they came to the center and picked it up, or we personally
Mhm.
got in loaded our vehicles up and personally dropped them off to their doorstep where they didn't have to come outside and endure the pandemic that was going on.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, what gave you your spark for helping others? Was it your parents? Are you watching people? What sparked?
Yes, well, I come from a long line of my family members, freedom fighters. They've been in the cause fighting for freedom and,
Mm.
and things of that nature. So as a kid, we was involved with many marches down in the city for that reason, demanding freedom and justice. So I guess you could say I was born into it, and it was instilled in me through my ancestors.
Wow.
Also my grandmother used to volunteer. She used to work overnight at the hospital, New Rochelle
Mhm.
Hospital. She'd come home in the mornings from a long shift, and she
Mhm.
would clean the front of all the churches along Lincoln Avenue. Her goal was to make it to the top to Lincoln and Webster, which is Shallow Baptist Church. She never made it to that point, but she did do the majority of the churches.
Wow, so it's just in your genes basically to help others.
it's in the it's in the
In the
DNA,
genes.
yes.
Yeah,
And
you can't
plus,
help it.
as a person that grew up in low income housing, quote unquote poverty, I know the struggles and I know the pains. And watching other community leaders such as Napoleon Holmes, Jeff Red,
Mhm.
Miss Dorothy
Mhm.
Oliver, watching them sacrifice and put themselves on the line for the betterment of the community,
Right.
it's something that as they started transitioning on to the other realm,
Mhm.
we was absent of those to fill that void. So I figured, why not fill the void? And plus, they said you can't complain if you don't get involved to make change. So
Mm. Now that's a fact. That is a real serious fact. A lot of people do that. A lot of people complain and they say what they would do, what they this and that, and it's like, but you're not doing it. And that's what I admire about you running. That you saw what needed to be done. You figure out solutions, and we can talk about some of those things. I saw here you have a plan for what you plan on doing. So one of them I thought I saw was development. What was it? Did I put down here? Development. You wrote pause and reevaluate everything transparently. What is that about?
well, with development projects, developers come in looking to build within the city. They have backdoor discussions with city officials and those that make the decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes to find out the developers always get away with coming out the deal better than the residents or the taxpayers that live within the community. So
Mm.
one of the things I want to do, I want to open up the books in a transparent way. I want to include the community in
Mm-hmm.
these discussions, in these talks. Let's open the books and share whatever plans and decisions y'all made with these developers.
Mm.
I understand that the projects that's already going forward, we can't do
Right.
nothing about, but the ones that haven't broken ground, we could put a
Right.
pause on those,
Mm-hmm.
evaluate actually what the language is, what the benefits is, and if the
Mm-hmm.
benefits and the language isn't beneficial to the community or the taxpayers who suffer, then we need to go in and change it up where it's more beneficial for those that have to suffer and endure the pain and the inconvenience of the construction. Our
Yeah.
vehicles, our
Yes.
vehicles is getting flat tires,
The foot
constantly
in
got
the
to get
air.
alignments,
Yeah. And then the
right?
suit, the suit in the air from the dust that they have to knock those buildings down with. That's a lot
Right.
of that. They
The,
don't mention
the
that part.
silica, the silica, it's called silica dust.
Mm.
So yes, it's very harmful. You don't feel it now, but 10 years down the line, you start coughing profusely and don't know why. Well, it's because the particles that went up in the air when the building came down embedded deep into your lungs, and you can't
Yes.
get rid of it. Yes.
Yeah, and half the time it's because they didn't do the proper covering. Because there's a way for this that they're supposed to do tailored, a specific way of what do you call it? Not sanctioning off the area. I forgot what you call it. Oh my gosh, really? Where you put something around it, it's like plastic and certain types of materials so
Right.
that nothing's coming out. But a lot of times, I look around and I'm like, this is like really bad, and I wonder why asthma is so high in that area.
And right, right. We already got bad pollution in our area from all the highways they built close to our communities and rail stations. So
Yeah.
it's just like they adding on
Um,
to the pollution. So yeah, you're right.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. Now, I thought I had read somewhere that you actually have a construction or some kind of company. What do you do? What do
Yes,
you do?
I just well in 2020 2021 I started my own construction company.
Okay.
I come from a construction background,
Okay.
and so it was basically I was tired of getting the next person rich. For instance, I'm working on a construction job. They ask you to do a certain thing. You do the certain thing for the hourly rate that they pay you for,
Right.
and then when the professional come in, like for instance, on the job, they had me core drilling. That's when you drill the hole so the pipe can run straight through for all the floors, whether it be the piping for the extinguisher system,
Right.
but you drill a hose. Now I was doing that at $20 an hour.
Mm.
They hired a company to come in, and I just so happened to ask the guy, hey, how much you get the drill these holes? He said,
Mm.
for this size hole, at the minimum is 500 a hole. I said, wait a minute. You got me doing it for $20 an hour, and he gets $500 a hoe. So that's what made me make the
Mm.
transition to wanting to become my own boss.
That's just one of the many things I noticed about that deal. I saw where you become like an apprentice or something, and you get
Yes,
like $20 an hour. So you're like, if you're a young kid, you're like, this is great. I'm getting a
right.
certification. I'm going to be in the union, and I get $20 an hour. When you find out that like 500 what? Wait, what? Some of them guys out there and just holding up the dumb sign for when they're doing the roads, they're getting like $100 an hour. It's like what? That's wait. I was told I get 20. What happened?
Right,
So
right.
those I think it's important that people think about who they vote for because to me that's what I want my girl or guy to be thinking is like okay, this taxpayers are paying their money. What are they getting for their money? So when you let these builders in some places, this is what kills me. Some places know this and it's in effect already. So you go to a nice neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna see new buildings or whatever it is up, but the park is banging. The park
Right,
has all the right proper lower ground for the toddlers. So when they fall,
right.
that they have the
All the
proper
good amenities.
and it's not toxic. You see what I'm saying? Now go to the hood part, and what do you got? Cement bottom, um,
Right.
um, metal this and this. Everything's
Rubber
just
tires. Right,
yeah, it's crazy. But that's because somebody on the ground that didn't have their boots on the ground. They just had their pockets on the ground.
right,
And so it was like,
right,
well, we'll build this for you, and we'll give you so the city will make X amount of dollars. So anybody usually says, okay, we'll take it. Let's go. Put the new towers in, put this in. But they don't ask, well, if you're going to do that, while you're at it, you got to add a playground and you got to add a parking lot.
right. Sensible construction. Something
Right.
that been. I don't. Hey, listen. The developer, you could prosper as long as the community prospers along with you. It can't
That's
be an uneven field anymore. I want
that's
to. I want to level out that playing field where the community benefits as well as the developer. Like
yes.
along the campaign trail, a lot of homeowners, one of their biggest things is the school tax. So why
Mhm.
can't we get something where the developers pay into some type of fund to offset the school tax for the homeowners? And a lot
Right.
of our homeowners are seniors on set fixed incomes.
Yes.
You have them paying school taxes. They don't have no kids in the school system.
Yeah, that's not
So,
right.
it got to be some type of balance, leverage, something to equal the scales.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm so happy to hear you that you're thinking about this because I'm telling you, I've been saying it forever, and my friends be teasing me like, "Well, why don't you run for mayor? Or why don't you run for so and so?" And I was like, "I don't have it in me. You don't want me running your town. Trust me. I mean, I'll do a good job, but I'm really a thinker like that. Like, so
Right,
what are we going to get out of this deal? Not just oh well, the town has $5 billion. Okay, that's cute, but you got people over here dying. There are people over here starving. There's no jobs for this one, and the teenagers are gone whacked out. That's not a good
right,
way to raise your
right,
society.
right. It's
You
not.
know? Yeah.
It's
So
not.
that's good. You're thinking about other people and how to level out this playing field. So a big one, we got infrastructure. What was the other one I said? We got infrastructure already. What did we
No,
say?
we just did development.
Development. That's right. Thank you.
Right.
So infrastructure. What about your infrastructure plan? What is that?
Well, the infrastructure plan. I know there was. I forgot the name of the fund, but there was money allocated to do a study, a review, and
Mhm.
and a repair of our infrastructure in New Rochelle. It probably happened with a lot of other municipalities.
Mhm.
That was during the Biden infrastructure, the Harper money, I believe. But
Mhm.
we have flooding issues within my district. I know other districts within New Rochelle, but the storms that we're having
Mhm.
is bigger and larger, and it's giving off more rain volume. The sewer
Okay.
systems that was created or developed back in the days when it was developed
Mhm.
wasn't developed for the increased amount of rainflow that we are now currently getting. So when the flow is higher than the ratio of the suction of the pipe, we're gonna have flooding. So
Mhm.
one of the things that I do that I started doing on the heavy rain days and the storm days, I'll
Mhm.
ride around my whole district taking pictures of the flood areas, so I could document the areas and the locations. And then
Okay.
what I do with those pictures, I then send them over to the current city councilwoman, who is Yadira Ramos. So
Yeah.
yeah, so she can send it to the engineers that's doing the study on the flooding. So
Uh,
now we're not left out. The areas that's known to flood, they
mhm.
can't say, "Oh, we didn't know about it," because that would be
Right.
untrue. I took the pictures and labeled the
Right.
streets that it's occurring at. So
Wow.
it's a little bit of being proactive instead of reactive. Instead of waiting for them to tell us what streets they're gonna fix, let me do
Right.
my part so to
Right.
make sure they have the streets that need to be fixed.
Right.
So that's my way of thinking.
That's really smart, very smart. Um, what do you call it? So that's good. So we got infrastructure. What about the biggest one? Haha, crime prevention. That's a big thing.
Oh, yes, crime, crime prevention. Crime has risen. In the last couple of years, and I applaud those in Albany that had the initiative to do a crime prevention plan, but
Mhm.
in in in, in in a way it was a little too lax, that created the notion that I just got free reign to do
Right.
anything and everything without any consequences. So
Mm,
I'm happy to see that they did come back to the table and do a little tweaking to it.
right.
But my crime prevention, a lot of people think crime prevention includes flooding our streets with a overwhelming amount of police officers, right?
Mhm.
I don't have that feeling or that notion, and I feel that what we need to do is start engaging the organizations that's already out here working to eradicate gun violence, that's
Right.
working to teach the youth and the older crowd financial literacy. We got to
Right.
start giving. We can't, like in my town, they keep, we got an area called Horton Avenue where myself used to hang out, and a lot of guys still hang out.
Right.
That's basically that's our living room. That's where we come to find out the day's news, engage with conversation with one another. Hey, the guys can't keep standing on Horton. That's
Mm,
my thing to the city. All right, you want them to move off of Horton, give them something to replace Horton with.
that's
you
what's
know, I
right.
suggested them to build an adult center where
Right.
those guys that you want off the corner can now come to this center. They could play basketball, checkers. They could
Mm,
do job research, job
mm,
training, mental health,
right.
everything all in one building. So now they ain't on the corner because you gave them another option to
Exactly.
occupy their time with, that's constructive. And
Mm,
and now we don't have that problem. So it's easier said than done, because these are some of the things I've been saying for a numerous amount of years. So this is the reason why I'm running. I'd rather be in that seat pushing to make it happen than to
right.
rely on somebody else to make it happen. You
That's a
know,
fact.
um,
That's a fact.
Judge Judge Jarrett Rice, who was one of our former council members, he has a program called Offender Youth Program, where
Offended.
basically, yeah, it's called Offender Youth Program. So
Mhm.
teens, I believe from teen 17 and up, I believe, or it might be
Mhm.
younger, that
Mhm.
have police interaction and comes before the criminal justice system. He
Mhm.
has a program that
Mhm.
these young men will enter, right? You meet
Uh,
certain markers: schooling, job, stay out of trouble. Certain markers you got to meet over a period, I think it is a year. If you
Okay.
meet these markers and
Mhm.
come back and show that you met these markers and graduate the program, you
Mhm.
that whatever you got locked up for gets completely wiped out, expunged off your record, giving you a second
What?
chance at
What?
life. So these are some of the programs that I'm talking about implementing with the crime prevention program. One of the things I want to do, I want to implement a reentry program. We don't have that. Those
Mhm.
that's coming home from incarceration, what support services is there set up to help them to ensure that there's no recidivism rate, right?
Right. Right.
Improve their quality of life, and improves our quality of life.
Mm.
Everybody wins. We got to start thinking outside the box and start doing things and
Mm.
creating policy that's going to overturn the redlining, overturn the systemic racism that's embedded in the systems and policies. They don't want us doing this, because once we do this, we start becoming productive. Once we become productive, then now they don't have the jail. We're not there to fill the jails and all the other things. So, my crime prevention plan is more about programming,
Right.
supportive services. Me and my friend Nate, we want to start. We getting ready to start a campaign called Change the Narrative, targeting the young ones in the millenniums. Change the narrative. You want your father, your uncle. You want us to get home safe. You got to take that police officer's exam. You got to patrol our neighborhood. You know our people. So we won't have situations like the Jarrell Garrett situation, the Kamal
Right.
Flower situation, because it would have been somebody from the community that knows the person, that knows the background story, etc., etc. Growing up, we had officers like that.
Yes.
Detective Yule.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we had Denise Water. We had a lot of detectives that was from the community. Brother Bro Flowers, that they'll catch you doing something, pop you upside your head and bring you home to your mama and tell your mama, listen, I caught him doing X, Y, and Z.
That's
So
right.
this is what we need: more real, true community policing.
That is a key, because I kept saying, well, all the shootings that always happen, it's always somebody who don't live in the neighborhood that's the one doing the shooting. It's like you didn't even find I don't think you should be able to police a place that you're scared of. That's just my personal opinion.
Right.
Because you're coming in automatically thinking, well, it's me or them. And if they're coming in with that attitude, then there's no room for, wait a minute, this person has mental illness going on. Or this person is just
room for improvement.
Yeah, nothing.
For instance, with the Jarrell Garrett case, when you see the video, the first two officers is displaying just that, what we said, the humanity, the compassion, right? They're not being aggressive. They're not trying to be physical. They're trying to understand what's going on. Talk to me. What's going on? But now you got the hothead coming in from afar, yelling and screaming. He's under arrest, still coming. But my thing is, one of the female officers, which you could clearly hear, say, "We got this under control. Relax." And he proceeded to go and make the arrest anyway, which escalated into what it escalated into. You know what I'm saying? So these are some of the things. What's your hiring process? What type of programs are they actually taking? We need to see this.
Right.
I would like the person. You say they do implicit bias training. I would like to sit in and see exactly what it is that they're being taught. What type of implicit bias are they being taught? Because it might work with some, but the others it don't work with. And then again, you got implicit bias training to teach the new recruits that's coming in. What are you doing to change the narrative and the thoughts of the old veterans that the new recruits is going to listen to and follow? So it's a merry-go-round.
Yeah,
Right.
it is.
Right.
Is. And it starts at the top.
Starts at the top.
Yeah.
Back in the days, I used to watch Voltron. It wasn't complete until the head was formed, So it starts at the top.
That is so true. Starts at the top, and there's no other way around that. We'd like to, but there's no other way around that. What about? I'm glad you gave us any update on that situation with Jarrell.
The funeral was just Saturday. That passed. Currently, it's a wait game. We got to wait to see what the AG comes back, what her report says, and then from there, whatever steps the community or community leaders or public officials want to take, to demand whatever we want to demand. But right now, it's just a waiting game to a tragic situation. And I really hope that the AG really looks at that Detective Khan's actions, his aggressiveness. Like she needs to look at the overall picture and not just what they saying happened. She needs to look at everything from start to finish. So
praying for their family. That's horrible.
Yeah, it's a horrible thing. I mean, he was a he was a friend of mine. I knew him, know the family well, so you know it really hits home. And not to
Mm.
mention, 3 years ago, Kamal Flowers, another
Yes.
person from the community, had close ties with his family. My daughter and him is cousins, so it's like it hits home. So you know, if I get in office, I'm gonna do everything I can to try to try to make sure that we get good officers. You know,
Right.
whatever needs to be changed in the hiring process, let's address that and do that. And you know, I served on a I served on the police review board committee.
Yes,
You
on
know,
that.
so and from that we did bring about positive changes that's actually being implemented right now.
Mm.
Some of the changes we implemented, we made it easier for you to report police misconduct by going online now instead
Right.
of going in
Oh, wow.
person dealing with them.
Mm.
The internal affairs unit has been moved out of the police department and put into city hall, so people could feel comfortable going in to see the IA to make their report.
Okay.
um Another thing we was able to get now, when there's a call for a mental health call into the police department, there's a professional mental health service that responds with them. They're in the
Mm.
police department, they have an office in the police department, a radio, everything. So when a mental health call comes into 911, they will be responding with the police officers as well. The
So
body
what?
cameras. Oh, go
Mhm.
ahead.
But what happened with the young man if they have that? They don't go out
That
with them. They're only in the police station.
Right. No, they go out with the officers. So what we need to find out with the
Mhm.
Jarrell Garrett situation is, how did the call come in? Did the call come in as a regular shoplifter, or
Ah,
did
right,
it come in as a mental person shoplifting? You
right,
see,
right,
if it came
right.
in as a mental person shoplifting, now my question is, why didn't that team respond? But if it
Mm,
came in as a regular shoplifting, then that
right.
team wouldn't respond, because they only respond to the mental health calls.
Oh, that's why that could be it. And
Yeah.
that's important now. So they'll have to go back and protocol like, okay, when we do these and tell the public too, when you
Right.
call, if you're
Right.
a waitress or you're a store owner or you're whatever,
Right.
you can't just be like, yeah, there's some guy in here, blah, blah, blah. If you see this person does not look right, I'm not sure if it's mental health, but they are stealing. You could say that, but put that in there. So then we have a different, we come down,
Right.
we approach different,
Right.
you
Right,
know.
and that falls back on the city. Their public relations, they got to do better. When you implement new programs, you need to start producing step by step
Mm.
instructions on how to engage with that program appropriately. So
Yes.
you know,
I've always I said, oh God, let me go around to all the police places and all the different places. Let me go and speak to them. I would love to do that. That's something, and that's somebody who I mean, I used to be an addiction counselor, so from that
all right,
perspective, I know what needs to be said to people in order for it to be a different conversation
right, right,
than
right.
run
Well,
away, than say bad words or whatever. There's a
it's all it's
whole
all about it's all about the wording, right?
it's absolutely about how you approach someone. So I've seen people literally on drugs, and depending on what you say to them, you get two different reactions. So
Correct.
it's so important. Communication is important.
That's
But
key.
also, so here's another one, my favorite, housing, because I got so many senior friends right now in their 80s who are paying it's what is it, 600 a month, and they only get $1,000 a month, and they're paying 600 a
Right,
month for rent, which is a lot for a senior, I think.
right,
But they're paying a lot of money, and there's nowhere else for them to go. They have no choice.
right.
So housing, affordable housing. What's your
Well,
thought on
that is near and dear to my heart.
that? Hmm.
Affordable housing.
Hmm.
I grew up. I was born and raised in the Rochelle. I was
Hmm.
raised and grew up in. I was in low income housing. I
Hmm.
now currently live in affordable housing, which is Section 8.
Right.
So I know the importance of that, because the low income housing and the Section 8 housing helped a lot of people I know, including myself,
Right.
get a little foot up, a little foot up, So with
Let's have a
affordable
lunch.
housing, New Rochelle has I believe, over 28 projects that is in the midst of going up. Most of them is up. There's some others that got to go up, that
Mhm.
they dub affordable housing, right?
Mhm. And they're not
So
affordable.
they're not affordable. Like I say to this, like when I speak with the city, I say,
Hmm.
how can you call it affordable housing
Mm-hmm.
when your civil service workers can't afford it. The people that maintains the city, the police, fire, DPW, teachers, they cannot afford what you're building. So
Nope.
how is it affordable? And who is it affordable to? You know?
Because that's why
So
they put in the 20/80 rule. That's the slick
listen,
part. Throw that in
listen,
there, slide.
and
I'll
then
take three of you.
and then the city makes them provide 10% affordable housing units in each
Development.
project. That's
Mhm.
that to me that needs to come up. One, the percentage needs to come up, right?
Yep.
Two, we have an AMI issue, which has to be tackled federal, state, local, and county levels. All forms of government needs to tackle it. So AMI is area medium income.
Right.
If New Rochelle went by their own AMI, we would
Mm-hmm.
be about 77,000.
Mm-hmm.
But we're lumped into the Westchester County AMI, which
Mm-hmm.
includes Bedford Hills and
That's
the
where I
the
was.
the $1 million section of Westchester County that don't even want affordable housing in their area, right?
We have affordable housing.
Every time there's a plan to put something in their community, they
Mhm.
fight it. They'll go to court, sue
Of
over it,
course, they don't want nobody around their neighborhood.
right?
Nope.
But
But they
but
have affordable housing. It's $2,500 a month for a 2-bedroom.
listen, in New Rochelle, a studio's about that.
Yeah,
A
it is.
studio, 2,500.
In New
So
Rochelle, I would never.
2,500 for a studio, and the size of the apartment that you're giving me and the price that you're charging me is robbery.
Right.
You're
It is.
giving me a box for
Boxing.
for a ransom. What are we doing here?
It's
You
that's
know? So I want to bring in
right.
developers that like developers such as West Hab. It's a development agency in Westchester County, but it's a nonprofit agency, and you know what they do? They build true affordable
I know.
housing.
I've seen them. Yeah.
30% AMI to about 40% AMI, which is we can afford, right? They also do senior building, right?
Yes.
That's what we need more of.
Yes.
So I want to connect with organizations like this to bring about the change with affordable housing. All
Yes.
these projects going up, how come we didn't get no condos that offer rent to own options?
You know
Where's the
why?
rent?
Come on. You know why?
Like so me these are some of the things I want to bring to the table. True affordable housing for the veterans, the
Mm.
seniors, workforce housing, rent to own housing. I want a multiple variety of housing in New Rochelle so people can stay. We could get new people, and the people that's here can stay. When they redevelop where I used to live, where the 5 buildings was at, and built the townhouses,
Mm-hmm.
when you lived in low income, 30% of your income went towards your rent, right? You go to
Mm-hmm.
affordable housing, 30% of your rent, 30% of your income goes towards your rent. But
Mm-hmm.
I seen people that was moving from the low income into the new development was being told that they made too much. They didn't
Yes,
qualify.
that
How
happened to
did
my
how 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 did you qualify over here where it charges 30%, but I don't qualify over here where it charges 30%? Mr.
Yes.
and Miss Mr. and Mrs. Frank Davis, one of the original people that moved in to Hartley houses when it was developed.
Mm-hmm.
They got a street named after them in the new complex. Mind you,
Mm-hmm.
they both retired on a fixed income. When it was time to move into the new development, they was told they made too much. On a
Mm-hmm.
fixed income, how do you make too much? So, these are
Well,
some of
no,
the
because
things.
it's a trickery at its best. It really is. And here's another part of the trickery. Go find out who's living in there that's getting a good deal. It's
Yes.
usually the parents of, you've guessed it, Bob, the people that built it or did the contract.
Yeah.
It's all unfortunate, and I know I don't want to put you in the middle of it, but it is I call it the Westchester hustle, and so a lot of times I'll just say that's the old okie dokie boys club stuff going on.
Right. And,
I'm
and
just
I
gonna
want to change
I'll
that.
speak in that way. I'll speak in that way. I'll say that's my nice way of saying it. It's the okie dokie boy club. You can get in, you can't. And if I let you in, because I had to give you a crumb, you know, to get
Right.
this project off the ground.
I was forced to do it. So
Yes.
yeah, these are some of the things I want to change. I really want to come in. I want to attack the policy. I want to change the policy. If I can't change the policy, let's create a new policy that will supersede this policy. They could keep that policy in place, but with this new policy, we still gonna be able to thrive and succeed. You know,
Right.
so these are some of the things that I would like to tackle,
All right. Well,
as you would say.
I saw another. So I'm glad seniors, because the affordable homes is just crazy in Westchester. I know so many people, and then they get to these places that treat them like crap, and there's nobody to advocate for them. I'm like, there's got to be somebody to advocate for you guys. I mean,
Right.
usually I saw a lady talk to one lady, and I said, you can't do that. Sir. You can't do that on my watch. You
Right.
have the senior citizen on your watch, but not on my watch, because I will find the agency to call to report you, because that's what we're going to do. And so once she found out she was being reported, the actual president actually called and told her, you need to change the whole tune quick. So she
Right.
did. They're just being treated horrible. It's like, to me.
Well, I give it to George Latimer and the Westchester County
Yes, I love
politicians, because they created I forgot the name of it, but they
him.
created a housing. It's like a housing council for people just like you mentioned, people that's going through those type of issues with their landlords. They could call this council, and this council will come and represent them free of charge
What?
when it comes to dealing with these type of issues with the
I gotta
landlords
call.
and
I
things.
gotta get that number. I gotta get
So
that number.
yeah,
I'll get that number. That's crucial. It's you fought through your whole life. You made it to 85, and then you gotta have some reckless 40-year-old talk to you reckless.
right,
Like
right,
what?
right.
Bro, I paved the way for you. Do you understand? Like what I've done, the value that I bring to this whole table. Yeah, woman. They just be writing off my employees. We will not do that today. Nope. So thank you. I will look that up. But what about this? And I know this wasn't part of it, but transportation, because I always think like New Rochelle is so well, it's big, it's vast, but bus and train. I remember I took a train once; it was kind of packed. Is there anything going on with transportation?
Our transportation is in the current state. Well, the B line runs the buses throughout all of the county, so we don't have nothing to do with that. One of the things that I attack the development and all that, but I'm the type of person, right is right, wrong is wrong. So one of the things that city officials did do with some of the developer money, with some of the funds that they pay into, they did create a free car ride service. So basically, there's an app, and you could go on and you put in your address and where you're going, and it'll come pick you up and take you where you need to go free of charge.
Yes, like fish. We have a fish in Bedford.
Right. It's something like that. Yes.
Yeah, I
So
like that.
that's one of the things that was created, that was good, because a lot of seniors that normally couldn't make the walk over to the other side, or didn't want to wait for the bus in the hot sun, now has another option where a ride to come pull up on you, pick you up, take you where you gotta go. So I gotta give them credit for that. That's one of the good things that was good that came out of it. But everything else we need to reevaluate.
That's a really good a good outcome. Hey Rich, we want to say hi to you. I see Richard out there. He says hello to you.
Hello, how you doing? Hey Rich, Rev, how you doing?
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's let me see, what's the affordable housing we got? Oh, the last one, jobs. Very important.
Yes.
Very important. Jobs.
The Black community has been disrespected when it comes to obtaining jobs on all these brand new construction sites that's going on within the city. I had a friend, she's another advocate, Miss Sharon Foots. She took it upon herself to walk and visit the different construction sites going on, and engaging with different workers. So as she's going along to the different sites, asking workers, "Oh, hey, where y'all come from? Oh, we come up from Jersey.
I know.
Where you
Long
come
Island.
from? Oh, we come from Long Island.
I
Oh,
know.
we came from Pennsylvania. So
You know how I know?
all these out-of-state people coming to work in New Rochelle when we got
And,
New Rochelle residents that need jobs.
and they union, right?
No,
What?
majority of non-union,
That's
and that's
that's shocking.
that right. That is shocking, but not really, because Westchester period is a non-union county. Not
On construction?
yeah, on construction.
Really?
If
That
you look
changed
at it,
then. That changed.
Mr.
What?
Capelli, Mr.
Yeah.
Capelli, who they call the Trump of Westchester, he
I know.
he rarely uses union.
Okay.
Rarely.
Well, didn't somebody before him or somebody used to? Because I remember back in the day, you couldn't get on a job unless you were union. You couldn't.
Maybe further upstate
Maybe so. Maybe
Westchester,
that's what I'm
but
thinking of.
Maybe from Yonkers up, but not in my area. To my knowledge, it hasn't
Okay.
been a lot of union workforce
Okay.
jobs.
Okay.
There is a guy named Michael Yellen who started a program called Pathways to
I
Apprenticeship.
know pathways. Yeah.
So this is another program that I would like to strengthen. Right, in order
Mm.
to strengthen that, you gotta have union jobs to come and do work within the city, so now they can pull our residents to become part of the pathways to apprenticeship. So one of
Right.
the things I want to do, I want to try to see if we can come up with some type of comprehensive construction plan where certain parts of the job has to be done by union and other parts don't have to be done by union. So now everybody's getting an equal slice of the pie. We got an opportunity to have our young and our residents become part of the unions, and it's just a better way of thinking and improves everybody's quality of life. If everybody's working, and think about it, if everybody from the city of New Rochelle is working on these sites, the money's going to be spent back in the
Back in
city.
the community, right?
They getting money on the work sites now and going out of the community to spend the money. So, our residents working is a win-win for the city of New Rochelle as a whole,
Yeah.
not just District 3 as a whole.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
true. I didn't even think about that. Those guys get paid and they go back to Long Island to spend their money.
right.
They ain't
So
spending it there.
we're losing all around. We're losing all around the board. Another
Yep.
thing we need. I know they got an MWBE program coming, but that needs to come on site immediately.
Right.
If it's not done by the time I'm elected, I would like to expedite that, because I know a lot of Black-owned businesses within New Rochelle, but they just don't have the proper documentations or the laboring to be able to bid for these certain contracts and things of that nature. So these are some of the things that I would like to do.
Right. Well,
Jobs is important.
I
Also,
think
there's a resolution. It's called Resolution 205 that
resolution.
the city council adopted a while back, and this resolution was supposed to address this said issue: our residents not being hired when it comes to local jobs, when development, whatever it is. But
Mm-hmm.
it lacks the strength and the teeth to make it really official, right? So I would like to add language that where you have to, if you violate resolution 205, there's going to be fines and penalties that you have to pay, because this was created to make sure that our residents have an equal chance at employment on these job sites. So
Right.
if you can't abide by that, then you need to pay a heavy penalty,
Right.
and you need to have a penalty and heavy fines to let you know that this is not tolerated. Either you're going to support our local workforce, or we don't want your business here.
Right. Or another one is, I know back in the day, at least New York City did that. They had like these major tax incentives, right? So maybe, I don't know if that's even possible, but maybe in some way another too. With the tax incentive, that's another add. Well, if you add X amount of jobs for young people or seniors or whatever, veterans or whatever you want to put the categories in, then we can do this, or, so as long as it's beneficial to the people. Because
Right.
they're the
It
ones paying
has to
taxes.
be.
Yeah.
It has to be beneficial to the people. My campaign slogan is people over politics. So I
Mm,
will always put the people first, no matter what. And like I
mm,
said, along the campaign trail, a lot of people say, oh, a lot of people run saying they not politicians or what they're gonna do for the people, and then they get in office and they forget about the people. They don't engage with the people. What makes you different? So I told them, I get in office, what I'm going to do, I'm going to form a District 3 advisory committee made up of all the people in the district. I meet
right.
with them once a month. Now we
Mm,
sit down once a month. I get to hear from everybody from District 3. And
mm,
now when I go to the city council,
right.
I'm going back with a list made up by the people, not me, not the party,
Right.
not no special interest developers, nobody. This
Mm,
list is for the people, made up by the people, right?
wow.
So another thing I would like to do when it comes to the tax abatements and things, when we talk about it on city council, before voting on it, I would like to put a vote to the public, to the people. This
Mm,
is such and such development wants to build this number story unit. They
mm,
asking for this amount of money in tax breaks. This
mm,
is what the community will get. Do y'all agree with it or not? Let them
right.
vote. And
Right.
I don't have, and like I told them, I don't have a problem. I'll come to y'all and say,
Mm,
listen, this is what it is. If we vote yes on this, this is
mm,
what's going to happen. If we vote no on this, this is what's going to happen.
okay.
You tell me how to cast my vote. My vote is your vote. So I'm not going in there just casting votes.
Right.
I want to have to sit down with the people, and the people, you tell me, are we going yes or are we going no? Whatever it is, the
Mm,
majority wins, and that's what we're going to go with.
mm.
So,
Well,
I
they
just want to bring a new style to government.
right. And that's the way it's supposed to have been. It's supposed to be we the people toward the people, but it turned into like for my pockets. So Rich says something very important, which I see that very seriously. The black people are being pushed out of New Rochelle, he says. I agree 100%. I used to work in New Rochelle and I was like, wow, it's like Yonkers. This side and that side. And then the side.
No, you're correct. And to Richard's point, I seen it. I'm let me say I'm seeing it, and I have seen it when they did the redevelopment of Hartley. I seen the regentification. That's what it is. Not pushing
That's
out. It's
why yeah,
regentrifying. It's
that's exactly. Yeah.
regentrifying.
Well,
That's what
that's
I
the
call
form
it.
of push out.
Right. So I want to tackle that on multi levels, which you have to. You got to tackle it with true affordable housing,
Yes.
right? You got to tackle it. You got to tackle it with jobs. It's a multi-level thing. Right now, I'm not gonna give no names because I don't want to give away what I'm doing on the campaign. But right now, I'm currently working. I'm working with somebody to try to create a
Wait, what happened? Uh-oh. We lost him for 1 second, guys. He'll be right back. Give us a second. He'll be right back. While he's coming back, I'll say hello to you guys. Tony, Rich. Rich, you got a good point about that. Yeah, Harlem. That's what they did in Harlem. Yep, that's exactly it's going on everywhere. It's not just there. There's a lot of places in New York. I can't do it anymore. There you go. Oh, he's gonna come back. All right, guys. He'll be right back, and because we still have another 10 minutes. But yeah, Kwame, you said Rich. He's related to who? Oh, Grand Puba. I love Grand Puba. He was the man. He was the man. I still have an album I did with that. That one's a good one. Miss Hillian, does he know her? Mayflower Avenue. Oh, I don't know if he knows her. Oh, there we go. Okay, not connecting. It says. Uh-oh, that ain't good. Uh-oh, I mean, go back out. Give me a second, guys. Okay, from studio. No, I have to wait till he tries it again. Let me just see. All right, guys. So just give me a minute. So if you guys got a question, please put it in the chat box there for me, because he'll be back in a second. And what was it called? Yeah, he'll be back in a second. What was I gonna say? So he's running for city council District 3. Here we go. Uh-oh, I don't know why it's not working, guys. Give me a second. Not working. I'm just texting him to see if he can come out and try it again. Sometimes these things don't work as well. Fine. Okay. Try it again. I'm telling him. Try again. There we go. Okay, is he on there? Add to stream. Okay, there we go. So I don't know why it's not working there. I think maybe his reception somewhere. We'll see. Anyway, guys, let me see. Who am I talking to here? Jobs. Where did I put my banner? Hey, Jobs. I had a banner here and I lost it. So yeah, so what? Oh, my phone keeps dying out. I'm gonna wait. Hopefully he'll come back. There he is. There you are. Okay. All right. Let's see. We got it.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
That's okay. It happens. It happens. I was talking to them anyway, saying hello to the audience, and was about to type in our next topic there. Let me see. Somebody has a question. But yeah, what was we saying?
I think I was elaborating on Richard's point about the gentrification.
Communication.
You know,
Yes.
so I mean, it's going to take a multiple of things.
Mhm.
Job security, housing security. Like I said
Mhm.
earlier, change the narrative, start getting our
Mhm.
people to see a
Yes.
different vision, start seeing what the benefits could be if we come together, unite. And one of the things I want to do, I want to try to see how I could create a District 3 community block grant where we all put money into a pot and now we start becoming the developers. Let's start buying back our community and
Mhm.
building what we need to build in our community. You know,
Wow.
it's a whole multitude of different levels that I really want to and passionately want to try to do to change the narrative for our people.
That is a brilliant idea. I mean, it's funny. Here in London, they have so you have different types of housing, but the housing's mixed in with who owns it and who doesn't. So that's the good thing about it. It's still ask someone from here, they'll say it's a disparity, and it is. But at least I can say you can buy your own flat if you
Right,
live in government house, whatever they call it. They call it council housing. I don't know what they call it, something like that. We call it government housing, but
right,
you can buy it, which may be why everybody takes such good care of their place rather than just trash it and whatever, do whatever.
right.
But all that's important. And no, but some places don't want that in New York. They don't want you to buy nothing. They don't want you to have nothing.
Right,
They
right.
don't want
And
you to
look, look, look at the Section 8 program. You go down south, they got a lot of the Section 8 programs that offer rent to own. New York,
Yes.
tell me,
Nope.
tell me where, tell me,
Nope.
tell me where. And we
Nope.
supposed to be a progressive
We are,
housing state.
we are not.
Where?
It is not. Nope. We are not progressive. We think we are, but it's not. That's not it at all.
No,
Tell
definitely.
me about this. What is it? Historic preservation.
Historic preservation is important. One of good of major importance because
Mm,
we need to restore and make sure that our past
mhm.
isn't disrupted with the likeness of the future developers that want to come tear everything down and build up. We need to make sure that what we have is protected for generations to come, not
Right.
just mine or my grandkids, but for Adim years as they would say. You know, we
Right.
got Rochelle Heights is one of our historic districts.
Right.
They're part of District 3, and
Mm-hmm.
during my campaign trail talk
Mm-hmm.
speaking with the community of Rochelle Heights.
Mm-hmm.
um they was asking like, all right, we see what you do, but that's in your community.
Right.
How are you going to be represented in my community, which
Mm,
was a valid point, right? So
right.
let me explain. My where I live at, like I said, was basically the projects.
Mm-hmm.
Rochelle Heights area,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm looking at it from my area, right?
Right.
from my area, the Rochelle Heights area is perfect. There's nothing, there's nothing wrong over there. That's a perfect. We trying to get out of the projects to get there. There's no way they got issues over there, right? To my own fault for not doing my due diligence, right? Nah, they don't have no issues. The issues is here. We got the gun shooting, we got the drugs. This is where it's at. There's no other issues in the Rochelle, but right here and over in Bracey, which is the Hollow. That's where the two projects is at. So going out along the campaign trail, I see. I was being feckless in my duty and trying to find out the total problem of District 3. I was focusing on one area. So the District 3 Advisory Committee will help me not do that again, right? I will be in tune with all parts of the district, right? So, and everybody's issues different. Over my area, they say is guns, violence, and drugs. In Rochelle Heights area, it's speeding, right? It's different things other than what I've been fighting for, right? So their issues isn't the same as the issues that I have been fighting for, which I have acknowledged. And I promise as city council member, I will represent all areas of District 3 the same way I represent where they say my main area of advocacy is. So I that I will do it. I can't win until we all win. That's my motto. I can't. My area where Heritage Homes is at, we can't win, and the rest of District 3 isn't winning. In order for us to win, we all got to win, and that's another reason why I'm running. I want to bring hope and inspire people to come out and vote. Right? I've been one of the people. My vote don't count. I'm not doing it. I want to show that your vote really do count. Vote for me. You have my ear. I'll be here, and we'll forge an alliance together. Strength is in numbers. We know the issues and the reason why we haven't been able to get anything done when it comes to our issues, because we've all been working in our own separate silos. That's the truth. We all working in our own separate silos instead of coming together, looking into, joining everybody's silos together and strengthening it. We might have three organizations that's duplicating the same thing. We don't need that. Let's figure out how we can have organizations that that all corresponds with one another. If you're doing mental health, all right, well, here's the drug treatment program, here's the job training, everything all under one umbrella, so people's not running from pillar to post looking for services. No, you go to this one location and you can find all the services that's needed in this one location. So I mean, easier said than done, but hopefully with the support of the community and everybody coming out to vote, this can become reality, and I know it's an uphill battle for the simple fact I lost the primary for the Democratic nomination by 22 votes. Now just think of that. I'm not a politician, nothing. I'm just a regular advocate off the street, and I ran a race with I had the smallest campaign and the smallest amount of funds, and came within 22 votes of winning the primary for the Democratic Party. So that says a lot with who I am and how people believe in my platform and what I stand for and what I'm running for. They know I'm a straight shooter. If I'm not gonna beat around the bush, I'm not gonna tell you some falsehood. I'm gonna tell you what you might not like. You might not like it because I'm gonna tell you the straight truth, but you're gonna get the truth out of me. So
I think that's about time. I think that's what we need in all areas of politics. I hate to say it, we need that. I'm all for voting for the new guy at this point, because the old ones, we already know what they do. They've been doing nothing, and they're gonna keep doing nothing.
And that's my thing. The old one's been in forever. I was watching something and I forgot who the speaker was, but they said that the March on Washington in '69, the march was jobs and justice, right? The 10-year anniversary from that, the march was job and justice. Here we are in 2023. The march is jobs, and justice.
Mm,
So maybe we need to, change who we vote for. Right?
mm,
I understand we're loyal, the Democratic Party. I'm since the age of 18, I'm now 48. I'll be 48 in August. I've been
right,
a Democrat, registered. My family wasn't no other party to vote for but
right,
Democrat. But I'm on the working families line. And a lot of people might say, oh, that's crossing party lines. I'm not going to vote. It's not crossing party lines. The working family platform
right,
support, they believe in the same thing Democrats believe in, but they just want it done now. They
right.
tired of waiting 100 years for the jobs and justice.
Exactly.
They want the jobs and justice now.
Now,
So
exactly.
just to give an insight to some of the listeners, because that's the thing. Democrat, when it comes to election, who you vote for? Roe way all the way. So,
Yep, that's the
so,
same. Pass it down to your
so
kids and kids' kids. Yeah.
this year on the ballot, I'm just asking you to look down to that working families line and check Kwamain Dixon for
Right.
change. A vote for me is
Working.
a vote for change.
That's right. Vote for change, people. Wow. Well, thank you so much for taking time to be with us. I appreciate you, and I really do hope you win because if nothing else, you're just talking a whole nother game that everybody should have been talking a long time ago. It's about the people. The
About the people.
people. It's about the people.
And and we have a chance for real. Just before we go, we
Mhm.
have a chance to create real change for our communities in New Rochelle. And I
Yeah.
say that why I have a working relationship with the current city councilwoman who's running for mayor, Yadira Ramos.
Madeira, right.
So we have a strong bond, a strong working relationship. Half the stuff I got done for the community was
Mhm.
with the help and partnership of her, right?
Okay.
My friend Shane Oysenloy, I might have
Mhm.
said his name wrong. Don't kill me, Shane. He's running for District 4, which is the heart of the business district. Main Street, all where all the high rises is going. And he feels the same thing as me. He's a millennium. He has
Mhm.
nowhere where he could live comfortably and afford rent. So, we got three like-minded people on council that could really get it done, right?
Mhm.
Could
Mhm.
really bring about that change. Before we didn't have it like that. Now we got three people that's like-minded and we're friends. So
Mhm.
we can definitely make those changes. We all agree on the changes that need to be made, and
Mhm.
we as a collective can move forward to do that. So again, I would like to thank you for having me, letting me share my platform. Like I said, my campaign is small,
Mhm.
so this right here should help me get it out, my message out to everybody, and hopefully you'll share
Yes,
the
absolutely.
web page and
Absolutely.
things so people can sign up.
Absolutely. I'll be
Yes.
sharing it. And you guys, remember when you share this for me, that's what I'm going to say in my wrap up. Please do me a favor and share the video, especially if you live in New Rochelle. And hashtag New Rochelle. Make sure you hashtag that and then hashtag Kwame's name, please, because that will help when people are searching. Just a little reminder, because I don't usually push too many people because they always just talking. But the fact that you want to include the people is you stand out from everybody else. Because
No,
some people
yeah, no,
they don't really give me no solid way that they're going to do that. You've given me solid ways that you're going to do that. And I just from hearing you, it sounds like you really for the people, and that's what politics is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about the people. We're
about the
just
people.
you're a servant when you're doing, you're the council person, you're the president, you're serving us. That's what it
The
is. But it
people,
has
the people are our bosses.
yes, yes. But it has
You know,
changed so drastically. You know.
and like we used to chant when we used to march down to Harlem for change. The
Mhm.
people united will never be divided.
Mhm. Yeah, that's
So
right.
let's just remember that.
Well, thank you so much. You're awesome, and I'm really going to keep my eye and see where you're at, and I'm hoping that you win. You need everybody to go. When is November 8th? When is the election?
November 7th.
November 7th, guys. That's when it is. So, New Rochelle, guys, make sure you go out. Please share the podcast and share the YouTube. If you can, just share it. You never know who's watching. So, I thank you
Right.
so much. And just hang out for 1 second, and we'll end. Guys, my viewers out there, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you taking the time. Remember to share. Thank you. Some people say hello to you on here. And some people we can't see, so that's not good. But hi to you, my friends out there on YouTube. I see some people on, but I can't tell who it is. So hello, and I hope grandma's on there. I see your family was on there. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
my mom was on there.
My son, that's right. I'd be proud too. I'd be like, that's my baby. Yes, mama. You should be proud because you raised the good one. That's what it's about, man. It's about helping other people and doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, did you do the right thing? And
Do it,
I,
but not looking for nothing in return.
yeah, that's it. That's all it's about. It's so simple. Life is so simple, but we make it so complicated. So thank you. My faith is renewed in local politics, at least. We'll start there. So I appreciate it. And guys, we'll see you again Sunday. Share the video. And say bye. We'll be right back, Kwame. We'll give me
All
that
right.
second. Let's see. Ta-da.